Hi and welcome to another PictoWeave tutorial. Today we're going to talk about a way in which we can take several weaves and stitch them together, as it were, to make a larger completed weave. You can see here a rod I did for a friend who's a very avid Queensland football supporter. So on the right you can see the completed weave. And on the left and center you can see how I went about to do this. First of all, I had to create a weave of the Broncos logo. Then I created a second weave with the Queenslander wording. And then I actually created a third weave with the flipped Bronco logo over here. And when I set the jigs up, I had three separate left lists, and I had to align the threads that were going to be used in both of these so that the center of the word Queenslander lined up with the center of the Bronco. So that's one way you can go about doing it. It can be a little tricky to make sure you get it all aligned properly, but I've been having a bit of a think about it, and there's a way which you can do it from within PictoWeave, or actually by using PictoWeave and Microsoft Excel, so that you can stitch together any weaves that you like. So what I'll do is we'll close these down for the moment, and we'll bring up, say, this weave pattern here. So here's a good looking fella. What we're going to do is do a similar thing where we're going to have Taz here on the left. We're going to create a second weave with him flipped over the other way, and then we're going to put a name in between. So this would be a good rod for a child or something. So we've got our first weave pattern here. We've already saved it, Taz left. Now we need to create a flipped version. Now that's as simple as simply flip horizontally. Press this button here, and PictoWeave will go ahead and flip that over for us. So now we can save that as Taz right. And then over here I've got our other weave with the name that we want to put in. Now all we really need to do is make sure that the two weaves are designed with the same thread sizes. See, we've got Madeira number 40 as the design thread and plain A as the wrap thread, just to make sure that everything stays in proportion. Don't worry that this the name looks much larger here. It's just that I've got the Taz weave zoomed right down so that you can see it, and I haven't got the bob weave. If I drop that down to the same, you'll see the proportions that the two will be. So that'll fit quite nicely into the other. So I've saved the three separate weaves that we're going to use. Now I could say that if we go back to we'll flip horizontally again. If we go back to where we started, we do have the option of mirroring this. So if we were to have a look at our bob weave again, you can see we've got 91 columns across here. So that's the area that we need to fit that in. So if we were to take that half of that, and we were to say 45, and add 45 onto our width here, and make that 125, you can see we've added half the space that we need for that bob to fit in. Now we can simply go clone right, and you can see now PictoWeave's added the additional half of the space required, and it's painted in the other half. So what we've got to do now is work out how do we fit that in. And we don't have to do it this way. We can do it as three separate things. I'll save this as Taz cloned, perhaps. going to take a little while to save that one because it's quite a large file. So now what we're going to do, whilst that's saving, we'll work on another one here. What we need to do now is export all these files to Excel, and that's as simple as going to Tools and Export to MS Excel. Now you do need to have Microsoft Excel installed on your computer, but that's something that most people have these days. So we'll simply go Export to Microsoft Excel, and you can see that the file has been created. So we can move this one away again. We'll do the same with this. Once again, that's been created. So, if we come back, here's our Excel spreadsheet. We've got the one with the Taz in it, and we've got the one with Bob in it. So we need to drop Bob into the middle. So if I bring up Bob, all I need to do is select that range, Control C to copy, go back to Taz, and we're going to need to have to drop it in very close here. And go paste, and there you can see we've pasted it in. Now, whilst it's still selected, I can drag that around. As long as I don't go over the top of anything else, then I can position it in wherever I like, drop it there, and now I simply save it, and I'll give it another name, Taz Bob. Just so as I keep everything separate. Okay, so there it's all completed. So now what I need to do is, if I go back to PictoWeave, and I go import from Excel, select Taz Bob, wait a little while for it to load. Okay, so I'll just expand it up so we can look around the edges. Everything's sweet around the edges. So I can bring it back down. And there is our completed weave. We can now create a left list and go ahead and weave that. So it's really quite simple. It only takes a few steps. Now the one caveat is that Microsoft Excel has a limit of 256 columns across. Now we've ended up with 250. We're able to just fit this in. If we had a circumstance where the weave was bigger, so if I drop this back down, if our three weaves were going to be bigger than 256 across, what we'd then have to do is rotate it so it all went down. You can have as many columns, many rows down in Excel as you like, or practically, but you can only have 256 across. So all I would do is, before I exported them to Excel, I would simply rotate them all clockwise. So instead of running across as you would expect, they'd run down. And I'll just flip this whole one around in Excel. So I'd simply rotate to the right, or rotate to the left, as the case may be, depending on which way you're looking to orientate it. So we'd do that, export it to Excel, and then when we imported it, we'd have this arrangement. okay, which is not what we want to wrap, because that'll go around the rod. But you can import it back in, then simply rotate it back to the left, and you're ready to go. We'll do our left list, give it a name, and there we have it. Our left list all in colour. We can do a grid if you prefer to work off a grid. Nothing stopping you printing that out and creating your own left list in whatever format you want, or work straight off the grid. So there you have it. It's not all that difficult to tack together anything you like. You don't have to try and make it all in one go. Take several small weaves. It took me a few minutes to create this name in Microsoft Paint and save it. I already had the Taz weave, and then tack them all together in whatever format you want. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. We look forward to seeing your work. Thank you.